Today, we're watching Daniel GT005 play in the Batchat 25T. This is one of the next tanks that are being buffed in the next update of World of Tanks here in 1.26, and he's going to show us exactly why maybe it could use a buff, maybe it couldn't use a buff. I think mixed feelings on this one after I've seen this replay. And, well, first off, there's a TVP heading straight for him that's going to be reloaded that is ready to put 4 shells into him. Luckily, his friend back there, if you were keen-eyed, notice his friend in the other TVP was kind of, I don't know, having some sort of mating ritual with the rock back there. But now Daniel has got himself into a position here where he can shoot other enemy vehicles that are approaching on the opposite flank. He's going to wait for that Progetto to give him a shot on the side again. And that Progetto has smartened up and decided, you know what, I'm going to sit behind this building for a second. I'm going to wait until Daniel is not looking at me and hopefully not take another shot or two in my side. Because why would I want to throw more hit points into the garbage? Speaking of which, there he is, and that Progetto got lucky and somehow just deflected that shot off of himself. Must have hit a weird angle just the right way there. But that Udez will take the final shot of Daniel's magazine anyway. So this vehicle has the 5-round magazine, 390 damage per shell. That means just shy of 2,000 damage in a magazine. That's 1,950 if you want to be exact. And Daniel is going to use it to the best of his abilities. So the buff this thing is getting is going to give it basically better dispersion at all times. Better base dispersion, better aiming time, and better dispersion after everything, whether it be rotating the hull, rotating the turret, after firing, all that jazz. And also giving it 20 more shells and ammunition in a battle. So that's going from 30 that it has now, that you can see in this replay, to a grand total of 50, which is actually a pretty substantial improvement. Like, Wargaming must really feel that this vehicle runs out of ammunition all the time. And hello, Leo. You might get shot. Is Daniel going to fire at him? Yes, he is. I wasn't sure if he was going to take the chance of getting spotted doing so, but he decided that maybe there's no enemy vehicles back there that can put shots into him in return, and that maybe it's worth the risk. And it seems like Daniel's not getting spotted for it as well, so that is alright. And that Leo just got lucky enough to not take another shot in the side there, but perhaps one of those blind shots made contact as well. We can only hope, for Daniel's sake, that that happened. Now Daniel's off to another reload, and where is he going to find his next victim? Well, he's reloading here. He doesn't have any ammunition to fire, but he can take a peek through the bushes again still, and at least try to spot someone that might be able to benefit his team. It might be able to help him plan for what he's going to do here in just a few seconds. You can see that Udez is still hanging out by the building off to his right there that he's looking at now. And he's probably thinking, what can I do about that? Well, maybe not too much when he's sitting behind a building, but in the meantime, maybe I can poke my nose up over here and hit something like that Centurion off in the distance, and he's gone unspotted, just as he planned on doing so. But hey, here's a couple more potential victims if he can get his gun down low enough. He might have to find a weird little ridge or something on the top of this hill to get a good shot at something like that Waffenträger or something like that TVP. Maybe he can get his gun down for the Waffenträger. The TVP, though, unless he really, I don't know, props himself up on that rock just the right way, or really exposes himself by cresting that ridge a lot, which isn't worth it in my opinion, then it could be tricky. Does he have better gun depression over the rear of the vehicle? Doesn't look like it. There's also a FV4005 there. You do not want to get shot by that thing, especially in a tank with such little armor like the Batchat here. It could be absolutely devastating. It could be the end of Daniel's game in absolutely no time at all. Is this Centurion going to give him a shot? Almost, but he got spotted doing so this time. Must have been by that Tiger Mouse you can see on the mini-map there, proxy spotting him from down below. Now, what is Daniel going to do? He's going to poke around this corner, which is a little bit risky because I figured he would still be spotted. Looks like he might have gone unspotted there for just a second. And, oh, now he's heading off with a TVP. That thing is going to reload quicker than him. It has a smaller alpha, but still, somehow Daniel managed to come off on top on that trade and put in more shells to the TVP than the TVP put into him. I wish that I had that kind of opportunity. I feel like the TVP might have kind of messed that opportunity up a little bit and probably could have taken a lot more hit points from Daniel if he had played his cards right, or just, you know, simply have not engaged in that situation if he didn't think he could handle it and, you know, not lose a lot of hit points for absolutely no reason. You've got nothing to gain. If all you're going to do is lose in a situation, in a conflict, then just avoid the conflict completely. There's no point in throwing away hit points and throwing away your team's hit points in the process. Now that TVP that Daniel was just fighting with has died, and I don't know if Daniel noticed. He's looking over there, unless he's looking for that Centurion Action X in the background, which is a possibility. However, the E75s, I think, there have proxy spotted him, So Daniel needs to kind of think about that too, because there is other vehicles back there, like that Waffenträger Panzer IV, that could be a little bit painful, and that 4005 is definitely still a factor in this game as well. But what about this Udez? The Udez has moved back to the back of the map here a little bit. Maybe Daniel could spot him, or maybe Daniel has other plans. Can he get his gun down on that 4005? Not quite. He'd have to prop himself up a little bit more against that rock. I think it would be doable if he did so. Unfortunately, he couldn't get any shots on the 4005, but luckily for him, he does manage to get a little over 400 spotting assistance damage for his work there. So, hey, not a complete waste of time whatsoever. What else can Daniel do? I'm wondering, at first when I saw that, I thought, hey, maybe he's trying to spot artillery when he goes into that spot. But first off, there's no artillery in this match. And secondly, if he didn't spot him when he was up in the farther bush before, he's probably not going to spot him in that bush. But now the Centurion has made himself very, very vulnerable there and takes 2 shots, about 800 damage for absolutely no cost to Daniel, except for a couple shells out of the bank accounts. Is that what we're calling it? Is that where shells come from? Sure, why not? You're paying for them, so something it's some financial exchange is happening there. Now, what is Daniel thinking? I think he wants to kind of be aggressive with these E75s, but he's trying to think on how he wants to do that, and he also wants to make his approach here around the right side of the castle, the ruins, the fort, whatever this is, without getting spotted. Now he's done so. He's going to get himself in position. Looks like he's going to kind of reverse in here, probably so he can make a quick escape if need be. Drive forward, because driving forward is quicker than driving in reverse, of course. And he's going to struggle here with the gun elevation, because he's clipping the edge of that rock, or whatever you want to call that, beside him just a little bit. And he's a little bit cautious about this, probably because he knows that Waffenträger Panzer IV is back there. The FV 4005 is long gone and dead, so that's not a concern anymore. And now he's probably just hoping that E75s will make a mistake, but he's getting impatient. So he's going to pull back, put one into the lower plate of E75, put a second one into the lower plate, and now both of these E75s are potentially one-shot kills, one much more likely than the other. Let's see what he can do. I'd be kind of worried about something like that Waffenträger Panzer IV hitting Daniel when he's sitting on the open like that, and I think that is what was shooting at him there from the back. This Udez has made himself visible again. Is he shootable? Is he going to drive through an open area? Not looking like it. Did the Tiger Mouse down below him proxy spot Daniel again? I guess not. I haven't seen the 6th Sense light bulb. That was pretty close, though. Not that it would have made a huge difference, but it would have slowed down the engagement that Daniel was in, and would have meant that he would have had to wait a few more seconds before trying to engage again. Daniel is going to try to gamble here that the Waffenträger, oh, hello, is not looking at the spot, and somehow, ooh, that's unlucky. The E75 does not die with that shot to the track. And probably because of heat rounds. Heat rounds tend to do that, and oh my goodness, that shot right there from that massively gunned tank destroyer should have just ended Daniel's life. If that had penetrated, he would have been very, very dead and sent back to the garage immediately. He just got unlucky there, but clearly he was saving all of his luck from that messed up shot on the E75 to survive the massive shell that hit his face, or tried to hit his face, right after that. And hello now. We have to remember, Daniel is kind of low on hit points here. He has to be kind of careful. He can't be throwing away hit points and taking all these extra risks. He has an E75 here that's a 2-shot kill, another one that's a 1-shot kill, and a tank destroyer over there that is another 1-shot kill. So there goes the first E75. It wasn't paying attention quite close enough to survive. And now Daniel is going to see if he can get a shot into the lower plate of this E75. One in, needs another one to kill him though, into the commander's hatch. Just like that, there's 3 kills with 1 magazine. Now let's take a step back from that amazing work that Daniel just did. That was quite spectacular, but let's look at the bigger picture in this game. This match is now a 1,000 versus 2,600 hit point match. Not looking good for Daniel's team. Also, it's a 3v3. Let's see if they can change anything there, but it's also worth noting that Daniel is down to his final 3 shells in his entire vehicle. That's not good either. And now, okay, it's a 2v2. Things have evened out a little bit there as far as the number of vehicles once again, but it's still 800 hit points versus 2,000 hit points. Not the greatest situation ever. And obviously 2,000 hit points is a lot more than Daniel can do with just the 3 shells he has remaining in his vehicle. So it's going to come down to that Grill 15 having to place a couple excellent shots and not getting himself killed in the meantime. And ooh, Daniel, what are you doing? For a second there I thought you were going to just absolutely send it off of the cliff there and get yourself killed. But what I think Daniel's doing is, one, looking for the enemy vehicles, especially that Waffenträger Panzer IV that hasn't been spotted in a while and could be getting his flank on, and also trying to find a nice safe way down. That was almost too aggressive. That was a little bit scary. And now Daniel's going to see if he can get himself a flank. No need. The Waffenträger is right here. There's one into the side of the Waffenträger. The Waffenträger's looking this direction. A second into the Waffenträger, and Daniel is going to GTFO. He does not want to fight that Waffenträger when he has a single shell left in his vehicle. Obviously, Daniel is going to need this grill to help him a lot right now because there's still 1,300 hit points. Correction, 800 hit points left on the enemy team. And that Waffenträger, with that shot, has pretty much evened this out. 800 versus 800 hit points. It's a 2v1. This is looking pretty good. But given that Daniel only has that one shell remaining, if that Grill 15 gets destroyed, it's anybody's game. I'm like, oh, well, it's not anybody's game. It's going to be the Waffenträger's game. It would be very, very difficult, obviously, for Daniel to win the match when he doesn't have enough ammunition to kill any enemy vehicles that are remaining. And the Waffenträger isn't very slow, so, I mean, capping out isn't really a valid solution in this battle. I do really like that Daniel seems to have realized that, hey, me sitting in the back, crying about only having one shell is not going to win us the game. He's decided he's going to get a bit of a flank on here, try to appear from an angle that the Waffenträger is maybe not expecting. He knows sitting in the back is not the solution. He needs to try to help that grill somehow or another. And I think right here he's noticed that Grill 15 on his team is pushing up to that hill and is going to attack that Waffenträger. But he needs to be really careful because one shot is all the grill needs in his face to die, and that is perfect. Look at that. The Grill 15 has put a shot into the Waffenträger. The Waffenträger sounds like he missed his return shot on the Grill 15, and now it's up to Daniel to get in there before the Waffenträger is reloaded. And just like that, in here, one shell remaining, put it in, good. Did mess that shot up. That would have been absolutely devastating. And just like that too, Daniel managed to get himself a Faden's medal, which is something that I have yet to achieve myself, and is something that I have a feeling not very many players have the opportunity to do, but that is definitely a very epic achievement. Congratulations, Daniel, on that one, and excellent work on what I'm going to say was a very, very good carry. Let me know what you think about this vehicle getting a buff, and if you think it needed it or not. I think the ammunition capacity was definitely something it needed. The rest of it, I'm not too sure about. I'm going to try to play to the BatChat 25T in the near future as well. It is on track along with the K91 this month, so maybe we can get some good battles going, and maybe I can feature my own replay in here next time. Anyways, guys, thanks for watching. Bye-bye.